Hi everyone, and welcome to our Steam All the Way. So today's experiment, we will be using candy canes. The experiment calls for 3 cups of water, one that's really cold, room temp, and hot. I would suggest putting ice cubes in the really cold one so that way it doesn't really match the room temperature one. Then you want to have 3 types of candy canes. You can use big ones, you can use small ones, you can use the little peppermint ones. It's up to you, it's your experiment, you do what you wish to do. So, the other thing you're going to need is a spoon to help you stir, and patience. For the older kids, if you want to be more challenging, you can have 4 different cups, and instead of using water in different temperatures, you can use 4 different types of liquids. This could be vinegar, apple juice, lemon, whatever types of liquids you want to use to experiment with is up to your discretion. So, today we're just going to use the 3 types of water temps. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in my candy canes. Now, the candy canes that I have are in pieces. You can keep it whole. I like to break them apart so that way I can see quicker how, the different temperatures react to the candy cane. If you want, you can even crush them up and see how that affects the different types in the experiment. Alright, so this is our really cold water, so I'm going to stick our candy cane in this one first, and it floats all the way to the bottom. Cool. Then this is our medium room temperature water. Stick those candy canes in there. And this is our hot. Let's stick the candy cane in that one. Now, I'm going to stir them a little bit just to get them mixed more, but what you can also do is just leave them for a while and check in periodically just to see how the process is happening. Right now, what I can see is in the cold and the hot, the red of the the candy canes is already coming undone. It's doing a little bit in the room temp, but not so much. Now I know you won't be able to see the difference in the water from the screen. However, when you do this experiment at home, you will start to notice that the water will start to turn into various shades of pink. Right now, the room temperature water is the lightest color of pink because it's just taking its time to sort of mix. As I mix in, the red dye of the candy cane is making the water a bit darker now, but the cold water seems to be seeping the red dye faster than the room temperature. And of course, the hot water one has almost completely gotten rid of all the dye on our candy canes. So let me just see if I can fish one out and show you. So this is the candy cane that we had in the hot water. It is now completely just white. There is no more red on it because it has all dissolved into the red. In our medium, we have slightly gotten some red off of it. There's still a little bit left, but it's starting to dissolve. And then in our cold, there doesn't seem to be too much of a change. It's still really red. So while you're doing this experiment, you can make some observations. You can write a hypothesis, which is just a very educated guess about what is going to happen in your experiment. You can just see, you can guess like what temperature will dissolve the candy cane the fastest and what could be causing that to happen. You could try it with the different liquids. You can see which liquid you think will make the candy cane dissolve the fastest, or which one will take the longest to dissolve. With my predictions right now, I'm going to guess that the cold water will take the longest to dissolve the red dye, whereas the hot one has already done so. But if you just wanted to do it that way, you can just go by the dye and then the experiment could be done. Or if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can see which one will dissolve the entire candy cane the fastest. And for those who want even more of a challenge, you can even time yourself. You can see how long it will take. So if it would take 15 minutes or a half hour, see how long each of the liquids will dissolve the candy cane. Oh, it looks like the hot one, as I mix, has made them much skinnier. If I take a look at the room temperature one and compare the two, you can see the size difference. This is from the hot one, this is from the medium sized one. You can still see that there is some red on the candy cane. And cold is starting to dissolve the red dye more as I stir. And it's starting to come apart. The red is starting to slowly fade. Now, you can stir them or you can leave them. It's however you want your experiment to be done. I find that stirring kind of increases the process a little faster. I mean, especially for a video to show you guys how it's sort of being done. And from there, we can see even now that looks like the red is nearly done. It's even skinnier than it was prior. So it's almost completely gone in the hot liquid, especially as I continue to stir it. Yep. So, let's take one final look. As you can see now, almost all of the red dye on the candy cane has completely been washed off. There's still a little bit here and there, but it's almost completely dissolved. In my room temp, it has moved on to now dissolving the candy cane itself because all the red dye has been washed off. So now it's just the candy cane itself. And let me see if I can get all three of these because they're super tiny. And that's what's left in the hot candy cane cup. So like I said, you can continue the experiment until all the candy canes have been dissolved. You can measure it either by temperature or by the liquid, or how long it takes. You can use a stopwatch or just watch the clock over the time. You can leave it as is, or you can stir it in as you go. But either way, that is the experiment with the candy canes. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, thank you so much for joining me on this video tutorial today on the STEM-based project. And I hope you had so much fun, and we'll see you soon. Have a great one. Bye-bye now.